Testing, testing, testing. Okay. Okay, good. Finally, I got it right. Uh, I've had trouble when I've done live streams. I've had trouble with the microphone, but I see the LED lights, going up when when I say something. So good, it's working. Okay, so I haven't done a live stream in a little while. I thought I'd do a live stream. I've had a I've had a lot of things on my mind. Um, Um, and I know that election just happened. I didn't vote because I don't. That doesn't matter to me. Politics. I don't get involved with politics. I haven't voted in over. Let's see, 2000. I guess I'd say 2008 was the last time I voted. So however long that is. Um, and I'll explain why that is a little bit later. But that's one of the subjects. And the only reason I really am even talking about that subject is because if I talk about that subject to somebody else, they already have a candidate that they like, right? And they can specifically tell you why they like that candidate, right? And they'll point out if they're like truly invested in their time, they invested time into into uh, understanding whether it's Republican or maybe they're just straight up Republican or straight up Democrat, or maybe they just straight up, like the qualities of that candidate, which is the way I think politics usually really should be, but it doesn't work that way most of the time. Anyway, the reason that subject I could bring that up is the main reason why did a live stream. I'm doing a live stream is because I was cleaning out my bedroom here. I did a thorough cleaning, and I came across this camera that I bought in 2021. See, it's like one of these, you know, one of these old school cameras. Actually, I got it the wrong way. Put it this way, right? Take the lens cap off. Take the lens cap off like that, and then you can film, and you can see through this little, visual right here what you're filming, and it has a built-in microphone, all right? And I bought this right before I went to the Flattoberfest. Uh, that's 2021, and I'll talk about that a little more detail in a bit. So I bought it and I filmed it. I didn't really use it very well. I thought I practiced using it, but there's a red button right here, which is very simple, right? You push this red button right here. I think the visual and the clarity of this live is not very good, but there's a red button. I'll put it close, right? Put it close to the camera, and then basically you push that button, and it's recording, right? And so once it's recorded, when I was there, I'll just describe when I was there. When I was recording, I recorded or I filmed what I thought I was filming, but I reluctantly either accidentally pushed the red button and it stopped recording, but I kept filming or whatever thought I was filming. But I recorded a lot, or I this camera is quite it was quite interesting because as soon as I turned the camera on, once I got to the actual location of the Flattoberfest, once I got there was a group of people, like I would say at least 50 people, 30 to 35 to 50, somewhere around there, on the sidewalk, standing outside of the building where they were doing most of all of the presentations for the Flattoberfest, and they had like little vendors inside. It was like a little theater kind of thing, but there was no. It was like just manual chairs that you bring in and bring out. Um, and as I was filming on the sidewalk, I said, "Hey, do you mind if I film?" And there was a lot of interactions. This camera, having this camera out, was interesting because a lot of people, as soon as they saw the camera, they wanted to be part of the conversation, and it was pretty cool because there was a lot of people that it kind of like. I remember one time there was at least 7 or 8 people that joined, and it was because the subject of religion came up. Now, me, I'm not religious, or I don't conform to one religion, but the topic of religion came up, and then somebody like was really well versed, well um versed is what I wanted to say, well versed on religion, and he talked about different religions, and then people were like, "What do you think about it?" People would come, random people would come up, and they were hearing the conversation. Well, what do you think about this? And what do you think about that? And I'm just filming. I'm letting them go say whatever they want and interact any way they want. And then somebody up and me and another person, once that kind of, because that lasted a while, and then once that was kind of like dwindling down, I brought up, I said, well, I openly said, I'm not religious. I mean, because I grew up Catholic as a child, right? And that's fine. I mean, if you're religious, as long as you're a good person, hey, do what you want to do. Uh, I'm not anti-religion. That's something I wanted to be noted. But one that I brought that up, and there was another guy. He was dressed in a suit, and and then I was saying that, and he kind of interjected and said, I said, and I was saying, well, I don't, what if, because what if this one is, this one can't be right because of this one or this one, and people start fighting of which one's right and which is wrong, and he's like, yeah, well, what if they're all wrong? So he was kind of like at least understanding of what I was trying to say, and I was like, yeah, exactly. What if they're all wrong? And so it was just like, and that was kind of like the open conversation about that subject. So I guess that's the point I'm trying to make, is that, and this, that this camera can bring a lot of people to get, like, not together, but a lot of people to, it attracts a lot of people to be part of whatever's happening if it's an interaction, right? There was one time there was a guy who was walking by. I came back. I went to the hotel room that I was staying at, and or I went. No, I didn't. I went to go get some food because I was there for hours, and then I went to get some food. Came back, and then I saw these two guys that were walking by that were random people. I think they were just trying to get into a bar. There was a couple of bars up the way. Hey, Emmett, how you doing? Um, So he was walking by, and he understood why everyone was standing around. There was a lot of people standing around, and he asked somebody, and it was authentic intent. His name is Joshua. He asked in general. He asked out loud, "Well, why do you think the Earth is flat?" And then authentic intent started interacting with him. Immediately opened up my camera and I started filming, or tried to film, right? And then they were interact and then I guess authentic intent came across a little bit abrasive. You probably should have like answered his question and and gave him some examples to say water always finds its level. Uh, that the mathematical curvature told by us by NASA that the Earth is a ball doesn't make any sense, because every miles the Earth should be curve 8 inches, 8 inches per mile squared, and then it goes up higher after another mile, and then it goes up even higher after another mile. I think it's after like I can't remember the math, but after a certain amount of miles, it should be a mile. You can't you shouldn't be able to see past, like, it should be a mile high that you can't see past that point. And I think it's around 60 miles or something like that. So um anyway, I was filming and he said, "Hey, I don't want to be filmed." And I'm like, "Okay, I'm not trying to film you. I'm just filming in general." I was on the public sidewalk, right? So I was on the public sidewalk and I was just because technically it's called a public easement, which means um, you know, it's not private. I can film anything on a public sidewalk in public. But I was being respectful. I wanted to because I wanted to hear the interaction, right? And anyway, it didn't go well because um the guy I guess he just wanted to hear some explanations, but I guess he didn't get what he was looking for. Um and so after he left, somebody told Authentic and Ted, which I think he was right. I'm not Authentic and Ted is a great truther. But he did come across a little abrasive because the reason I say that is because when the guy asked him a question, he answered him with another question, which is not proper, right? He should have tried to answer the question to let the conversation kind of flow for the way it is. So, um, I thought I'd bring this. I recharged the battery. I have two batteries actually. Here's the other one. Okay. And this is the charger for the battery. So you can see it's plugged in. It's already recharged. The other battery is already in here. So I had two batteries, and what I would do is when I would be filming, and I would see that I'm in the red. If I'm not filming any interactions, I would shut turn it off, or I would take the battery off, take the battery out and change it, and then continue doing what I'm doing. So what I want to do is I want to go out in public again, and before it gets cold, and go on the sidewalk. Maybe go walk down in the downtown area around where I live, and see if I can um, just film things, and then um, I'm gonna that and then maybe possibly interview people about their thoughts about about the economy, or about the situation in America, or general questions. And I think, and then this goes back to one of political aspect of it that I brought up in the beginning of the live stream was um, with the election that just happened. I guess Trump won. Um, Maybe, and I don't. Again, I'm not political, or I'm not like I don't vote. Okay, I haven't voted in years, so I don't care. Inflation always going to go up. Doesn't matter who you pick as a president. It, there's always going to be corruption in the government. There's always going to be, um, there's always going to be taxes. If when you go out to the store and buy something, you get taxed, and their taxes are always going to keep going up. Right? That's another thing. That's never going to stop. It doesn't matter who you vote for. When you go buy to the store, you pay taxes. When you buy a car, you pay tax and title, right? When you buy a house, you pay property tax, and then even if you pay the house off, you still pay property tax. Excuse me. So um, you pay taxes yearly. When you work, they take taxes off your wage or your salary or your paycheck. you get taxed there. So it doesn't matter who you vote for, that's going to always be in place forever here in America and in most other countries. Okay? That's why I don't vote, because it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's going to, I mean, if you want to try to change, I guess that's really what it is. You want to try to change and make things better. Go out and try to do it within yourself first. With health wise, if you haven't already, start within yourself and go from there. I mean, try to, if you're not rich and you need to, salvage your money, or try to be frugal with your income. But that's never going to stop. As soon as you were born, and I've talked about this before, maybe not on my channel, but in public, the thing that starts the process for everyone is when you're born, you get a birth certificate, right? That's the mark, the certificate that says you are now enslaved in this government system. You are now owned by the government. You cannot do anything without that birth certificate. Okay? So as you get older, you have to get a job. So you need a birth certificate to get a social security number. Okay? You can't do anything without that. Then once you get a social security number, then it opens doors to do other things, right? Like uh um well, you okay, forget about that. I'm not really well versed on all the social security things. Oh yeah, passport. You can get a passport. Um, the other thing is, then you can get a license, right? And then when you get a license, then you can drive, right? So now that's another certificate, the license, to that you can identify yourself as somebody that, hey, this is because then people know, or the government knows, or like employers know, or whatever, whoever that needs to know, but the police know if you get pulled over, that you are, that you or these kind of government systems know that you have had a birth certificate, possibly a social security number, and so you've been through the process of being the way I say it, a slave in the government system, right? And um so now and then you get a job, you pay, you get taxed, like I just described, the tax, the all the taxes that you pay as you become a citizen here and I'm talking about here in America. um I'm sure it's not very much different in other countries. It could be, I don't know. But here in America, um you have to pay taxes for virtually everything. So you here's the thing, I'm going to end this real quick. You pay to be born. So you pay, or not you personally, but somebody, your parents or someone, the hospital pays for you to be born to live, right? So you're born now, and you as you go on your journey in life, you pay, you get a job, you know, you pay for things as you get taxed on it. So they take money away from your check, and you pay for things too. You pay for food, obviously. You pay for a car, you pay for a house or rent or whatever you do, and you keep paying throughout. You pay taxes, you pay whatever you want to buy, purchase with your employment. You keep paying throughout your life. Now, the kicker is you pay to die. When you die, you pay for your death for a funeral. You know what I'm saying? Even your death, you're paying. Even after you're dead, you're paying. Or when you die, you're paying. It never ends. That's what I mean. That's why I say when you're born, you get that birth certificate, you are now enslaved into this government system. Even until death. Okay? It's crazy to think of it that way, but it's true. Okay? On that note, I'm going to end the live stream. Everyone take care. Be good to yourselves. Bye.